You know, there's a pattern to villainy in Doctor Who that's hard to ignore. Some monsters make a comeback like clockwork. The Daleks, the Cybermen, the Master, endlessly wheeled out like tired political metaphors or CGI cannon fodder. But then there are the other kinds, the ones that linger, that don't need legions or lasers to terrify, the ones that infect, infest and spread, and those are the ones that really deserve a second look. Because when Doctor Who is smart, when it's truly doing what it was designed to do, it taps into something deeper than rubber monsters and space invasions. It digs into fear, real fear. The fear of losing yourself, the fear of forgetting what's real. The fear of what waits in the dark corners of your own mind. And one villain did that better than nearly any other, not with a death ray, not with a battle fleet, but with whispers in the dark. The Mara. Now, some of you remember it from Kinder and Snake Dance, and some of you might have heard the Big Finish audios that brought it back for a few cerebral mind games in the background. But for most, the Mara's just a footnote, a psychological snake that slithered through 2 Fifth Doctor stories and then vanished. But here's the thing, it never really went away, and not in universe. And not thematically, because the Mara wasn't just a villain, it was a concept, evil born of thought, of emotion, of trauma. It didn't invade, it was invited in. And now, with the show hanging in limbo, with audiences burnt out on flashy, meaningless franchise fluff, maybe it's time for Doctor Who to do something different, something grounded, something that taps into that primal fear again. So today, I want to talk about what a Mara miniseries could look like. No Doctor, no time travel, no Sonic get-out-of-jail-free cards, just Tegan, older, alone, haunted, and the slow, suffocating spread of something that never really left her. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Daemon, and today I'm inviting you to step inside the dark places of the inside, because it's time to talk about a return for the Mara. And this time, it's not just a possession story, it's a reckoning. The Mara isn't a beast in the traditional sense. It has no spaceship, no real empire, no foot soldiers. It's not even strictly physical. It's a psychic infection, a virus of the soul, born from the collective hatred and cruelty of a long-dead civilization, a sentient shadow lurking in the dark places of the inside. It doesn't conquer with force, it corrodes. From the inside out, its original appearances painted it as a spirit that latches onto weakness, feeds on guilt, temptation and fear, and gains power the more others believe in it. But that was when the Mara needed a foothold, when it needed a crystal to materialize, when it needed to ask to be let in. But what if, years later, it had evolved? What if its last anchor in our reality, Tegan Jovanka, never truly escaped it? Set in the years following resurrection of the Daleks, the story opens with Tegan living a quiet, if somewhat withdrawn life in a grey suburb of Brisbane. She's aged, matured, a woman who's seen too much and says very little. She left the TARDIS long ago, no contact with the Doctor, no more monsters, just real life. Office work, supermarket runs, therapy sessions that don't quite help, but in the background a rot is starting to spread. Tegan has always suffered nightmares, but now they're worse, not just dreams but fragments. Symbols, faces that change, words she can't remember speaking. Her reflection sometimes flickers differently. Her co-workers complain about migraines after speaking to her. People she's close to start behaving strangely, cold, aggressive, detached. The Mara, long dormant in the recesses of her subconscious, has begun to bloom again, but not with spectacle. This is not the rise of a city-conquering monster. This is the slow rot of civilization through individual corruption. It begins with a handshake. Tegan Jovanka lives a ghost of a life. Her flat is sterile, her habits precise, her interactions minimal. Years after walking away from the Doctor, she's done her best to blend into mediocrity, but even beneath fluorescent lights and grey skies, there are places the dark can still reach. Lately, dreams have been turning rancid, not the old nightmares. New ones, alien places she shouldn't know. Symbols that linger after waking, a breeze through closed windows, and most disturbingly, a lingering presence that seems to follow her even after she opens her eyes. Then come the subtle signs. A co-worker at her public records office breaks down in a meeting, muttering in spirals. A man she once comforted during a panic attack now seems hollow-eyed, muttering about the wheel turning. A friend refuses to shake her hand without knowing why. It starts to haunt her. Not just dreams, but reflections. Windows that momentarily show different expressions. Her own face staring back too long. That odd tingle in her palm when she touches people. Like static, but deeper, sharper. She finds a subtle mark forming in her sleep. A curve coiled tight. She covers it. As strange behaviors ripple outward, she maps them. Realizes they all connect back to her, that she's not the victim this time. She's the vector. In her dreams she walks a labyrinth of mirrored tunnels. Below the glass, shadows slither watching, and in the distance, wind chimes softly ringing, though there's no wind. So, Tegan becomes a recluse. She wears gloves at all times, and avoids skin contact like it's poison. She even starts muttering to herself in mirrors just to check if her voice stays consistent. She tells herself it's precautionary, but deep down, she knows the truth. Whatever was buried has reawakened. She tries to intervene, tries to warn people, but no one believes her, and the ones who do listen, they change within days. Their personalities dull, their eyes go empty, their words echo what she once heard whispered by the Mara all those decades ago. Now, her mark spreads. Not in any way you can see, but psychologically. She can feel it growing inside her, and it pulses whenever someone nearby succumbs. At this point, she's no longer sure if her emotions are her own or just an echo of something deeper, something darker. She walks the city, and, she sees red spirals etched into the pavement in chalk. There are wind chimes on doorways that weren't there before. Strangers nod to her, all in perfect synchronicity. In her dreams, the jungle appears again, but it's not lush, not vibrant. It's shattered, made of black glass and bone. The trees are dead, their leaves nothing but cracked mirrors. Beneath her feet, the ground pulses, alive and aware. In the center of the clearing, there's this vast coiled shadow, never fully in view. It knows her. It never left. She awakens, screaming. The walls of her flat are covered in spirals she's drawn in her sleep. She doesn't remember doing it, but her hands are ink-stained. The world begins to tilt. There are news reports of unexplained violence, unprovoked cruelty, really. Cult-like movements start appearing in schools and community centres. There's no central figure, no manifesto, just this growing, shared obsession with dreams and inner visions, with, shedding the self. Tegan, now gaunt and sleepless, wanders the city after dark. She passes gatherings of folks huddled beneath red spirals, all speaking in these weird, flat voices. Each face carries the same faraway stare, but, they clock her right away. They stop, they smile, they nod. She drifts toward an abandoned warehouse. On the far wall, there's this huge mural, a serpent, massive, winding through a forest of shattered mirrors. Inside, dozens just sit there in silence. Every one of them has the mark. No one says a word, they just watch her. Back at home, she goes on a rampage, smashing every reflective surface she can find. But when she finally sleeps, the Mara's jungle creeps in around her again. This time, she makes it all the way to the center. The being's there, ancient, coiled, just waiting. The mirrors here are unbroken, but they only show her. She looks. She sees herself smiling at that, but it's just a bit off. The smile hangs around too long. The eyes, they glow, faintly red. She jolts awake, strapped down to a hospital bed. Fluorescent lights buzz above. A nurse won't meet her eyes. Her hands are wrapped up. But she knows the marks are still there, under the bandages. The intercom drones out soothing affirmations over and over. Outside on the pavement, red spirals. Wind chimes tinkling on every balcony. She smiles. Or maybe she doesn't. Hard to say, really. The last thing we see, her eye, close up. The iris twitches, shifts, flares just a bit, or maybe not. Then nothing. The Mara's mark isn't about a creature, it's about corruption. Not of society, but of the self. The idea that something wrong can live in your head and you'll never know if it's gone or if it is you. We never see a TARDIS, we never see the Doctor, but the stage is set. Tegan's fate is unclear. Maybe she's mad. Maybe she's possessed. Maybe she's beginning of a new empire. And if the mayor has returned, it didn't return in fire or lightning. It returned in a whisper, in a smile, in a still point between dreams and waking. The only question left is whether the Doctor will notice in time. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell like the video and leave your opinions in the comments, where naturally I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.